Okay. Welcome to the Mondale. I hope we're recording. Welcome to the Mondale living room once again. I've been thinking about a few things. Again, I'll try to keep them in order. Okay. The first thing that we need to talk about is this business. See, when I was going to college, nobody ever got ridden with the legs. I don't remember any, even me, and I don't remember getting ridden much with the legs, and I don't remember any of my friends. We've already talked about the main reason why. Because if we go right to here like we should, there's no way the legs are coming in. They're not going to come in here. Okay? Okay, now what you'll hear more often is, well, he did this and he did that and then he put the legs in. Well, if we're close to position, as we should be regardless, arms in here, just like cross-hand fighting, how's the leg going to come in? His leg's going to come in right over the top of my arm. And the same way here. This arm is never too far away from here. How the leg's coming in? If we're in position and our arms are in here where they belong when we're on the bottom, okay, notice one thing. This bottom position is the same position that I'm in when I'm in on a high crotch. Same position. I would probably be up on both feet here, see. But notice it's the same position. Here, or if I'm on a high crotch, it's the same thing. That's the main point of this this philosophy and this attitude, see, about wrestling. These two positions are the same. You don't need to learn two different positions. It's the same position. Okay? Whether I'm on the bottom, or whether I'm high crotch, or whether I'm fighting out of a headlock. Okay? You don't have to practice four different things. One thing. Get the position and get ready to wrestle. Okay? And if you let the legs in, you're not paying attention. It's just the way it is. Even at the end of a long scramble, that doesn't mean that it's okay to let the legs in. Just because you fought hard for a while and, the guy outlasted you and finally got him in and we're in trouble. So, on the whistle, they shouldn't come in. Okay? And even after a scramble, we need to be close enough. Even when we're scrambling, we have to be aware of what's going on. That means probably our rear end down and our head up. Okay? So we can see what's going on. Remember, it's the same position. Okay? And if our arms are close to here, I mean, we probably don't have to be like this, but, we have to be close here in case a leg comes in. Okay. We should never get ridden. If we're getting ridden with the legs, we're not paying attention. Especially if we know the guy is, if we know he uses the legs. That's ridiculous. We should understand what's going on. It's best if we know he's a leg guy, then, geez, we just have to just stay right here. So, and once we neutralize the leg business, then we come up like we talked about before. We come up under control on our own terms. That's another thing. If we get here and we open up right here in this hip, see, the chances go up that he's going to be able to put the legs in somewhere along the line there. Okay? So, again, we don't get here. We don't get here for 100 reasons, say. Okay? Right here. And again, the referee blows a whistle. I sink back. There's no way legs are coming in. Okay? And then in a second, we're going to go over some stuff that most of you have never heard. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Okay? We cannot let the legs in. For one thing, we're going to get scored on. We're going to get roughed up. We're going to get discouraged. We're going to get hurt again, and we're going to get discouraged again, and so. And we can drill this, not letting the legs in. It's easy. Just don't let them in. Go half speed. Go whatever speed you want. As far as drilling it, Cody. Okay? And again, I'm not just sitting here. Again, this is a dynamic position. It's not static. I'm doing about 5 different things below the waist and 5 different things above the waist, along with keeping the legs out. Well, what's going on there? Anyway, it makes things a lot easier. Again, it's a survival skill. If you're young and weak and the guy wants to throw the legs in on you and he throws the legs in on you, and then there we are. We're ready to get hammered. So it's okay to stop and think. Also, when we're down here, stop and think. We don't have to freak out all the time. Coach Lindsay and I talked about that. And a lot of positions you'll get pretty good at where you can actually breathe and you can actually think. Instead of, just being out there all, mind all blank and stuff. Just relax. Especially like on the bottom. If you want to have some fun, just stay right here for a minute and wrestle and understand that, if you do the things that we ask you to do, you're going to start having fun on the bottom. And again, I referenced that match between Gable and Larry Owens. As I said before, Owens basically won that match from the bottom. He toyed with Gable. From the bottom, he toyed with Gable. Yeah, that was an amazing match, that's for sure. But anyway, I saw bits and pieces of Mr. Owens with the bass business, switching his knees, a nice bass. Looked like he came, and obviously he did come right out of, Oregon high schools. So, anyway, we can have fun on the bottom. We don't have to get discouraged. We don't have to get squeezed. Okay? All right. I want to go away from the legs for just a second. The late, great Greg Strobel. See, I had Greg Strobel as a grad assistant for a year or 2 at Oregon State. He's the one I mentioned before. He just passed. So, but anyway, I'll never forget. He used to ask me, "How do you beat a tight waist? How do you guys out there beat a tight waist?" I'll let you guys think about it for a minute. How do you beat a tight waist? All right? Okay. All right. The second thing that we need to talk about here is this business. You've never heard this before. I'm pretty sure. Unless you had one of the great Beavers as a coach. All right? So, somehow the leg came in. Okay? you know how they do that. You flop them, the leg comes in. I'm gonna do my best here. Should I mean, heck, I haven't done it for a while, but you know how we used to, we would flop down to that hip. Okay, you see this right here? This is what most of you do. Something that looks like this. We go, you push them under you, right? And now they're under us, and we're right here. Who knows what's wrong with this? Okay? What do you think is wrong with this? See this left arm of mine? It's a perfect hook for him. Just because I thought that, oh, it was okay to put this arm out here. It's not. Okay? All right? I've whipped this both to our rear ends, so to speak. Okay? And I'm in between his legs. You don't need this hand here. You see this left hand? You don't need it here. Because, like we've talked about quite a bit in the series, okay? You're just making a hook for him. You're not going to shake him if he has a hook. Right? So, what do you think you do? What do you think you do with this arm? Okay, watch. Now watch. Gosh, I hope this is recording. Darn it. I'm going to straighten it up a little bit more because we need to see my base. Okay, let's try that. I don't know. Darn it. Light's on. We got all the light we could have. Anyway. Okay. For 100 years, we flop here and go like this and then start to wrestle. Okay? We've been doing that for 100 years. Okay? Now you know what we're doing? You know what the good ones are doing? They're keeping this arm right in here when you fall. You know, you just whip and let him go and you fall just like with your arm, just like that. Not out here as a hook. See? All right, so he puts the legs in, and normally we would go like this, and then whatever start to wrestle, like this. Well, this is how we're going to wrestle. Anyway, okay. So, what we do is he puts the legs in, and when we do that whip, we do the same whip, whatever it is, whatever you call it, but you whip him to his rear end, and you go to your rear end too. But this arm stays in like that. I'm going to fall just like this. Okay? Not this. This is a hook. Okay, and the best people in the country, that's plenty for them to hold on to you. So what do? We take the hook away. At least that's what we do at Phoenix. We take the hook away. All right? I whip him, okay? And he puts the legs in. I whip hard and I fall like that. Okay? Or a little bit more upright. But the deal is, I just keep my arm in here. Not out there. Not out there as a post/hook. So I fall right in here. I fall kind of like that, but a little further out, but it's like this. And then we come up, okay? And then we come up, we work to this thing here, okay? I've whipped him down, okay? And I fell right to here. This hand is not out here, okay? This hand is tucked in and I just fall. Okay? And then get back upright, and then, again, we do not go like this, inside his legs. We do not do this. We don't even do this. We don't even do this. The only thing we do is this with our elbows. Lead with our elbow. Lead with our elbow. Okay? To an underneath position. Okay? As much as we can. And of course, we're going to be wrestling the whole time. Yes. Okay? You don't put this arm out when you whatever you do, throw to a hip or slouch to a hip or whatever you do. You don't put this hand out here. You just fall down. Fall down right to here. Okay? And then we're still wrestling, and all the power half stuff we have to watch. And we're not going to get power half if our arms are in here. See? Okay? Remember, none of this business. We just fall with that in like, I wish I could get a good angle, but anyway, you just fall just like that. We work in, we work from the bottom to the top. From the bottom to the top, now we're inside. Okay? Say I'm inside this one, and then I just do it. Again, I would prefer just turning inside out. I don't like a whole lot of falling down. Okay? I would like to see it work to here, and when we're under that, bang, like that. Kind of the same pivot that we've dealt with before, sort of. Okay? Remember, we do not go like this. And we're not like this. We just fall, and then we keep our arms in so there's no hooks, both sides here. Okay? And then we're wrestling. Depending on what leg. Okay? You catch this one, probably go that way. Okay? We're underneath it. See, I would just like this, just see a regular, like a pivot, like we talked about before. How this is all similar. The same position. Okay? I catch a leg, I'm under a leg, either way. I'd probably go that way. If I'm here, I'm going to go that way with that leg. Okay? Now, there's one more thing. Well, maybe I won't talk about it right now. But so there. Okay, that's what I do. And what also I think is better, I think this, if you can, if your ankles aren't trapped, I'd just like to see a regular pivot, just like we do when we're on the bottom. Okay? Remember, it's not an excuse if the young man comes off the mat and says, well, he did this to me, and then I did this, and he did that, and then mysteriously the legs came in. So that's no excuse, and we should drill it to the point where, where we know we're doing. Listen, another thing. I got it. I just forgot. Oh, yes. Again, about fighting the legs. Cody, listen. I strongly believe that we should teach them one way to fight those legs. Okay? Not 10 ways, not 5 ways. 1, maybe 2 to fight the legs. See? So, again, adding a little bit to what we said before, when we're fighting those legs, we've whipped us down, and now we're here. See what? We whip them to here. And that's right. And then the whole once I whip them to here, work into here. Now I see even there. See, that was a mistake. See, that's because I'm old. See, but this would be a hook. Whether it's like this or whether it's like this, it's still a hook if it's here. So this needs to be in, and we just go down to here. All right, and then we keep it here, and we sort of work our way up, and then we sort of slide down the guy as much as we can. You slide your rear end away from him, down his legs. Slide down. Again, with as little reaching around as you need to do. Okay? So, we're wrestling here. We're from the bottom to the top, from the bottom to the top until we're inside. Okay, and again from here, let's just work on one thing. It's as simple as whipping him to his rear end, keeping your arm in, continue to keep your arms in, slide down the guy, and be looking again. We don't want to have any hooks here. So everything is like in front of us. And it literally could look just like this. Obviously, we're sitting on our rear end. I don't like it here, but this is where we'll end up. Okay? And under either side, and then wrestle. Okay? And I like the idea of pivoting around one leg. Instead of this business about like pushing them over sometimes, I've seen. I would like to just pivot around one leg. Pivot around one leg. See? And then be looking to gather up the other one. See? Because I think if you just push things over, then it's still a scramble, kind of. But if our feet are free, I'd like to see us do that pivot there. Okay, so I'm through the guy. I'm through the guy. He's here. My head is through here. Okay, I like the idea of isolating over here on this leg. Or the other leg, it doesn't make any difference. But isolating over here and pivoting, if my feet are free, pivoting around that leg, the leg that you have, and then be looking to gather up the other shoe for a takedown. Okay? So, I think it's, if we get there, okay, even if it's kind of here, I'm inside now. I'm ready to go that way. I'll just pivot that way and go like that direction, instead of down here and up here. My number one thing to do would be just leave that leg right there and pivot right around it. Now we're sort of behind it, and now I'm looking to gather up the other tennis shoe for a takedown. Okay? So, anytime we're in that kind of position, that's what I would like to see. Okay, another thing is, when we're doing this, anything, okay, it looks like more like this, when I've tackled you and your legs are right there. Your one leg is right there. You always push that leg away from you. Okay? You always push it away so that he can't theoretically get his hips up. See? If you push that foot away, it's usually the bottom leg. And you'll hear me say, push the bottom leg away. because there's about 20 different times where that comes into play. Okay? The deal is you never hold things to you. You never grab your own leg or grab his leg or, you don't do that. Okay? You leave that stuff alone. Okay? It looks like, okay? Then we whip, see? This is bad. See? But this, I haven't really whipped him yet, but you go, boom, you fall like that, and then everything's in here. Then we're like this. His legs are, in here. Boom. Remember, lower to upper, inside. Never anything like this. Even here, still a hook. Okay? So just think about the big picture. Don't give him a hook. What's he going to have to hold on to? If you whip him like that and you don't give him any hooks, he's going to fall off you because he's got nothing to grab onto. But if you start whipping like this, geez, he's got at least two hooks, probably more. Okay? So keep your arms in. It's going to feel awkward at first. Keep your arms in. Understand the big picture. That you're trying not to give your opponent any hooks. See, if I whip, like I just said, if I whip like this, and this is a hook, and this is a hook over here, heck, he's going to have his choice of which way he wants to hook me and score on me. So when we're fighting the legs, first of all, they don't even need to come in. If we're doing our thing with the position on the bottom, we should not have any problems with the legs. See? And in fact, if we're in position wrestling the way we should, people won't even attempt to put the legs in. So, need to take a little break here. But see, getting ridden is one of those things that will frustrate a young wrestler quicker than anything. You get somebody a little bit older, a little bit stronger, throws the legs in and starts ripping on your shoulders. Who wants that? Who likes that? Okay? So, I like to finish again, like I said, I like to finish pivoting around one leg. For example, like, same thing if we've taken a deep shot and our head, and our head's between his legs and he's facing the other way. Again, I don't like this. I would like to see if we could isolate, protect our ankles so he's not able to get our ankles. Because we're just doing a pivot, and it's pretty tough to pivot if somebody's on our ankles. Okay? So we make sure that those are squared away. And anything where either we're all the way through, and not all the way through, certainly I would pivot around one leg. I'd probably go, trap here, and pivot, the leg is right here. I'd just pivot around it. There we are. Okay? So, and I think we would drill this code, put the legs in, and let's start slow and make sure everybody's doing what we want them to do. And again, we taught them one thing. Then they don't have 5 things going on in their brain when somebody bigger and stronger and older throws the legs in on them. And, sometimes we're not going anywhere. I used to tell kids where I worked, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. Do not let the legs in. Nobody makes anybody wrestle anyway. So, okay. They won't. after the first 2 weekends of the season, they won't be putting the legs in, Cody, and I think that's a nice place to start too, is the bottom work. We'll talk. We'll talk Sunday. Okay? We don't want to be doing anything that gives up our shoulders if and when somebody gets the legs in. Okay? We got to take care of. That's why it's so important that we keep everything in here. See? That's why it's important. Because if we get out, if we leave a hook behind, and they start that shoulder business. So let's not let them in the first place, especially if we know the person's a leg rider, for heaven's sakes. But we should become professional at defending the legs. Because like I said, Code, that'll discourage a young man or woman quicker than anything is getting hammered with the legs in. So, again, we're trying to cut back on the frustration. Certainly on a young man's, going hard on a young man's shoulders, say. So, got to keep them out. If they don't do anything, it's okay. But don't let the legs in.
Call from +15413015154.
Okay, I'll get back with you. I'm going to take this call here, it looks like. All right, bye. Oh, no. What? Uh-oh. Missed it. I don't know who it was. Oh, well. We're still filming. All right? Darn, I hope that's... Okay? We don't have to fret about it, Code. We don't have to fret about it. It's a good thing we just know a little bit. Because I think when we're fighting the legs, one thing is plenty if we're getting it done. There's just no question. But we can't be making hooks. We can't be letting our shoulders get loose. See? Because if they're any good, they'll make you make a business decision sometimes. See? So, okay, remember, again, keep it simple. Okay? Keep it simple. Keep it easy and simple. And natural. Because that's what it is. It's natural. With a little refinement around the edges. So, if we know he's a leg rider, should be all the better. Yeah, we could just start just like this. There's no way he's going to get the legs in. I wouldn't even have to do anything. I could just stay right here. He's not going to get the legs in.